Hello and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 16th of July 2017. I'm currently in the US in Montana, and I'm hiding inside in the air conditioning. It's absolutely baking hot here. It's like maybe 39 degrees Celsius, about 103 Fahrenheit. So it's really hot. Sorry for the delays in getting these out, but I've been on the road a lot, and we'll be here for the next week or so, so I'll be to do this one and next week's, of course. So everything should be good. Okay, today we're going to have a look at some pretty basic but incredibly important bits of supply and demand, and how to identify these really nice fresh areas, the ones that are 19 times out of 20 going to hold. And we're going to have a look at a couple trades that I did, and we can kind of discuss the details about these in just a second. But first of all, I just want to bring your attention to a trade that we had on here. We were wanting to sell up at this area of supply here, and you can see this on the weekly chart, why it's a nice area, how we have this really nice rally, accumulation, and a drop. You can see price has not been back since it left. We had this, we tried to sell here, this one didn't work out, so we got this better price at the top here, and I think this is pretty interesting simply because of the structure of this pattern here, and also the release. You can see this one here, how price came back immediately and tested it, and then it released. And we mentioned that this was a pretty okay level, but this one was the better one, and price finally managed to make it up. You can see what I do like is we fed into this area here, and price is currently at disparity and needs to rebalance, and so we can expect price to return to somewhere around here if everything goes as planned, maybe around the highs. I've got the target up here at the highs. We'll have to wait and see. So price is currently respecting this area. We get onto the smaller time frame, you can see that we fed into it, and now price is slowly starting to drift lower. If we have a look on this time frame, you can see we have a really nice example of divergence. So we have from this high to this high. Let me make sure the indicator is not going to fiddle with my lines. Turn these off. False. Okay, and we have the same going on here. We have strength depleting, so we have price moving higher and strength showing us something very contrary to what we're seeing in price, and we're doing this into weekly supply. This is a pretty good reason to try and sell the euro, Japanese yen at the time being. A bit of maybe a bold stance, because we know that the yen has been taking a beating here over the past couple of months, but supply and demand is king. So let's see if this manages to work out. Currently we are let's have a look where we are. We are about 120 pips in the green, which is nice. I'm not going to take profit or scale out. I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to move my stop to break even once we maybe get past this. Once we kind of get close to this, and I'm going to move my stop to break even, because this is a pretty decent area here. So price will likely come back down here and then bounce hopefully into this area of supply, and then continue down here to our target area. But there's no demand in here. We have a little bit down here, but it's nothing. Price has already been back to this level. This is the only one here that looks even reasonably decent. So this is one that we'll want to be a little bit careful with. Okay, so we've got that one. That looks pretty good. If we have a quick look at the strength information here, we can see that we have the dollar taking a beating across the boards. The pound is picking up some attraction. Is becoming attractive, and we have the Australian dollar as well. So the Canadian dollar, American dollar, this pair should be moving lower. You can see it is in a real hurry. Let's remove this, move these like so, and you can see that prices are kind of moving lower. And you can see on the daily chart how price kind of moved down off this, we accumulate it, and then we cut down from here. Price has not been back since then. We also have this one here, which I like, just above. There's a very nice area that seems to be attracting a lot of selling there. This is absolutely positively institutional selling here and here. That you can just see the sheer strength when prices started to move lower from here. they have not looked back. There's absolutely no interest in buying the American dollar, Canadian dollar for the time being. Price is simply waiting to move lower, and this order has been there for a very long time. So I'm expecting it to hold. I don't know, a very long time. Let's have a look. So selling the, let me put it in there. So this is going to be the month. So the 2nd of February, 17. So it's been there. Can that be true? So that was the other order. It's been in there since the 29th of June. So quite some time. So we expect price to return back up here and then drop off, and then everything should hopefully work out nicely. So that's what we have there. I've also had a couple of trades on some other accounts. We have this one here on the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, and I really like this area. You see how price just broke away, and we never even considered coming back. We tried to get back up here, and look how price rejected once it got there. So it got to the lows here and then dumped. And so our expectation is that if price reacted this strongly at a price level at the lows here, it's going to react lightly even stronger if it has to go deeper. And you see price poked in. There was virtually no drawdown on that, and then price dumped. So I got a 2-to-1 on that, a very nice one. And I'm expecting price to have a wriggle low. But we'll have to wait and see. You never know what's going to happen. Price is starting to kind of move. We're getting this rally accumulation, these strong moves higher, which might begin to challenge this. This is no longer fresh, so if price is going to come back up to this level, next time I don't think it's going to hold. But I think it was a really nice trade here. You can see there was a nice micro area of demand there, and this is where I took profit. Let me get this pair on there. We can have a quick look at it. I think you can see it clearly on the, yes, here we are. Let me turn these lines off so we have some clarity. So the area was just here where I sold. I think it was maybe 4-hour area of supply. The low of this one, here it is, right there. So we poked into that, and it was an hourly target, which was around here, the highs here, just above. So I think I got out of it around here. So price poked into that and gave us a pretty nice reaction. Now it's starting to drift high. This is a really, I mean, it looks like a really nice area of demand, but it isn't. We're getting a reaction as expected, but price wasn't able to hold away from this area. We poked up into it. We found some liquidity that was keen on selling, and then we dumped back. And so the supply up at this area is stronger than demand here. And so we don't know what's going to happen. We're in the middle of a weekend. I think it's Saturday today, and so price might open either higher or lower. But this is a very logical place to take profit, and I hope you can see why. And we had this area here, and someone might think, oh wow, here we have a nice area, and price gap down, so why wouldn't we want to sell here? Let me remove these areas, and we'll just talk about that for a second. So assuming that we just box this area off, take the lows there, and you would think that, yeah, I mean, that should have worked just fine. We had a really nice push away. But if you pay attention to the larger time frames, you can see that this is not supply. This is a reaction to supply, the supply being up here. If we go to the daily chart, we're probably going to see a clearer picture, and you can see it all in here. Let me remove all of these. You can see that we have the lows of this area just here, and this is where price reacted. So here, price tested it, and we shot lower. Price had another poke into the area. This is the second test, and we saw some rejection. And so you have to keep in mind that whenever you identify these areas, that's why we have these questions. Is this a parent or is this a child? If you put like that, a rectangle like that, you ask yourself, is this a parent or a child? Then you're forcing yourself to look for areas of supply and demand that this one is related to. And you can see here very clearly that this is actually a child, and the parent is just up here. And so just keep that in mind. This is a really maybe one that might trick a lot of people into thinking that we're going to get a reaction here. We got a tiny one, and you might be able to, I mean, take advantage of that in a very small time frame, but this is not something I would in any way be keen on trying to trade. And you can see also how price rallied, kind of drifted higher. We started to move, kind of stick and accumulate below this area of demand, and then it cut through. This is also a telltale story that price is looking to move higher. This is an agreement in supply and demand, not a disagreement. So when price does this at an area where we expect price to reject, this is telling us that this area is not going to hold, and this is exactly what we saw here. Price accumulated, and then we cut through it like a hot knife through butter. So just keep that in mind, because these can really trick you and get you into a little bit of trouble sometimes. Okay, let's have a look at something else. I've been doing a lot of these kind of shorter term trades because I'm traveling and I don't have time to do a whole lot. So I've been putting these, looking at my charts with the software, looking at strength information, and then putting the orders in, and then following them along and managing them on my telephone. If we have a look at, okay, so we can see here on the British pound, American dollar, this nice continuation pattern. There's a fresh area of demand, and the entry to buy was just here at the 128.31, and the target was just up here, just below this kind of the lows of this body just here, and price tore through it and went north much further. So this was a really nice example, and you're going to see these absolutely everywhere. And I've been focusing very much on these nice clean areas of supply and demand, because these are the ones that you're getting incredible high probability trades with very low risk. So if we have a look at another, let's see if we can find something else. Let's say the dollar, Japanese yen. On the daily chart, you can see that we have this one just here. We have this really nice area. This is still untested, and so when price comes here, we can really expect price to have a bounce there, a pretty significant bounce. And so I think when price manages to come back there, we're going to have a decent reaction and maybe drift higher and hopefully take out these highs. I'm going for a 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, but technically speaking, this is a really nice fresh area of demand. Look how price rallied, accumulated for one period only, and then it went up. And there's absolutely no pokes down into this area since then. We had this kind of a messy area of micro demand here that saw a nice reaction. We reacted to this child, and now we're drifting higher, and now we're currently testing these up here, and these seem to be holding, or this area of demand, sorry, supply just up here. So we're kind of testing. We tested it once, and this is a second test. We didn't manage to go that much deeper, and so we're expecting this area to eventually break and move higher. If price comes back here, I really want to be buying. I've got a little order in there I can see on this one here, and this is for another, where's the stop, 62.62, just above this little area here. I like the fact that price rallied, we kind of drifted side, and then we broke away very sharply, and we haven't been back since then. You can see all of this stuff in here. I mean, there's nothing, there's no demand in here until we actually get down to here. We have a little bit of demand down here. Probably going to get a small reaction there at the 110.40-ish area, but there's nothing until we get down here. This is like a quicker trade. I'm thinking we'll probably get, it's a pretty optimistic target there, but I'm thinking if price manages to come back here, we're probably going to get a pretty decent reaction. If we get into the smaller time frames, we can probably see it even closer. You can see how these highs were tested, and we finally managed to find that liquidity, and then boom, price broke higher in a real hurry. And so this is a nice area. And if you look at this on the 30-minute chart, you can actually see that this is actually price feeding into this one here. So you go into the smaller time frames, and it gives us an even better picture. So we have the actual area of demand, which is down here, and this is actually a test on this one here. And we'll take the body here because that's where price reacted. So that's a little bit of a better price there at the, let's see, at the 110.20 area. And price was trading in and out this area. You can see how price kind of drifted, went up and down, traded, and all of a sudden price released from here. And so far it's managed to hold away from that. Now that's telling us that on the smaller time frame, this is the 30-minute chart, remember, price was completely cleaned out and removed, so all liquidity is gone from here, and then all of a sudden we had new liquidity enter the market. We had a lot of orders to sell here, and price cut lower from there. So maybe a reaction up at this small accumulation just here. If we have a look at something else, this one here, so we have on the daily chart, we have price kind of drift sideways. You see how like it's really cleaned out the area, and then we had this really strong push away. So liquidity is thinned out. Then we have new liquidity enter the market, a lot of buying. The accumulation is happening here. Then price cuts away quickly. And you want to see price cut away quickly, because if price is able to hang around and accumulate for an extended period of time, well, then the orders have been filled. But if price doesn't give, if these orders aren't able to fill because price doesn't hang around for long enough, then they are likely still existing in the market when price comes back and has another test at the area. So I think if price comes back to the 124.50-ish area, I think we're going to see a pretty nice reaction, and this will of course return. Price will return to parity at around this point for this price structure, and then we could probably get some kind of reaction there. And so we have our, let's just mark that off like that. If we look on the bigger time frame, see where we are, and where would our target be? Well, you can see that we are reacting at this area that we spoke about previously. Here, this weekly supply. So a nice reaction here, and then another poke back up into this area would be really nice. So I think this would be a really nice trade to have a stab at. What else do we have? And so what I'm looking for on these trades, I've had quite a few trades while I've been away, and most of them have been focusing on nice fresh areas of this supply and demand. You can see how here price sold off, accumulated, a bit messy, sold off, moved up, then it cut down very strongly, and price has already been through this area, and then it came up and accumulated, and then it cut down very quickly. This tells us that this is new liquidity that's been in the market. When price came down and moved through this area, it kind of cleared things out, and so this is like fresh supply here, because this is where price released from. So I think something like this also looks pretty plausible. From around the 91.85 area, I think looks like a pretty nice area. Price has not been back since. We've only actually been to where price is currently now, around the 8900 area, and this is where price has had a tough time moving through since. And so here we have black space here, uncharted waters. So if price manages to come up here, I think we're going to see some pretty nice reactions. We go to the hourly chart and have a look. You can see that, I mean, price managed to cut away from here very quickly. Then you ask yourself, is this a parent or a child? And you need to look left a little bit. You can see that price is pretty choppy, but what I do like is how price moved away from this area. I think we need to go to the bigger time frame to have a look. Yeah, I mean, price is reacting at this here. So price is kind of wriggling up and down, then it breaks away. We come out, we test the area, and then we break away again, forming this area of demand down here. So I think this looks like a pretty decent area. We could maybe look for some kind of reaction. If we look at the higher time frame, see where we are, you can see that we have fresh supply up here at the top. Price has not been back here. We didn't have a really strong move away that I like to see, but we did have a decent push away, and price has not been back since. So we're currently contending with this area of supply here. Been tested once, twice. This is the third test. And I think if price manages to move through this, then this will enable us to start buying on the daily chart from around, that one's been tested already. Price has been down, so we don't really have any fresh demand until we get to around here. And this one has already been tested. You've got to look left. This is gone. And so here, so we have this down here, so something around here. We won't pay attention to that big wick. So something around here, the 79.27. This is still untested. Price release, very nice. We have 1, 2, 3 continuation patterns leaving the area, telling us that there's an enormous amount of buying here. And price didn't hang out for very long. We had 1, 2, 3 periods of accumulation before price broke away. And so there's probably some some unfilled orders located at the 79.27-ish area still looking to be filled. So pretty lots of exciting things going on. Let's have a quick look at the pound Japanese yen. Let me remove all the rectangles and things here. So we have a look where we are on the weekly. We seem to be challenging this, something up in here. You can see the highs just there. Tested once, twice as a third test. We have the lows getting higher, telling us that price might continue to move higher. We'll have to wait and see. Where'd that one disappear to? Put it back there. And so maybe price will manage to poke away at that, and if it does, then we can look for these micro areas of demand that we could look to buy it, and we have one right there. Here it is, right there. This is a really nice untested area of demand at the big figure as well. So pound Japanese yen, we could look to start buying there at the 14400 area. That's actually a really nice area. Price has not been back. We managed to move through a lot of this micro supply here, and this is just a really beautiful example of exactly that. Here we have this at the top. It's been tested. We're testing it now. We've had a slight rejection around here. Test. This is the third test. This is a really nice area, as you can see. It's tested. It held for, this is the third test. And price comes back down here, the 194. Sorry, the 144. Then you can certainly look to start buying down there. We have a look at the pound Kiwi. Remove these lines for us, like so. What do we have here? Go to the weekly chart. You can see that we have this lovely area. This is untested, pretty far away from price. We go to the small time frame and have a look. You can see it. We're probably going to get some reactions down here at the lows initially, and then we probably get a decent reaction, and then price will probably feed up and try to move over here. We have this rally accumulation sell-off here, so this brings our attention to kind of this little price structure here on the daily chart. So the 2.0406, the big figure, as well there. I like that very much. It's a nice area there, and you can see just above that we have an area here which tested this one. So these are all linked together. This is nice because this is where price released from. I wouldn't trade any of these here. I might take a stab at that just here, simply because the way price moved away looks pretty interesting. So around here at the 16, so the 217. But ideally, what you want to see, I'm just going to delete. Is what you want to see is you want to see some really nice pushes away. You want them to jump out at you, and if they're not jumping out at you, then they're not there. I mean, this looks like a pretty decent one, but look, when price left, it came back pretty quickly, and that tells us there's not a lot of interest in selling there. We see where price went from there, and we had a test at the lows. If we take the lows in like that, you can see they were tested once, but you see how price managed to test it immediately. We want the test to be a lot earlier if we want to take this test again. So we want to see it on a smaller time frame within this bar here. If we had it here, price sold off. If price would have kept going and wouldn't have done this, then I would have felt much more comfortable selling at this level here. But we didn't get that. Price simply managed to crawl back up into here. This is telling us that this is not the big money selling. This is not supply. This is not supply at all. And if you look higher, I mean, there is no supply here. There's none. We have some supply here, which is tested already. Let me see. This is tested already, so we've got to look to the left to find it. You can see there's nothing there. What we do have, we have this here. I like this. This is the cheapest price that I'm gonna look to sell at. We go to the weekly chart, we can have a look at that. I'm not sorry, I don't even, the price has already been through it. I'm not looking properly. You can see price has gone further. It's gone up to here. I took the wrong reference points, and you can see where that is. It is just up in here. So if we take the high of the candle to the left, so here, this is where price poked to on the weekly chart. And looking above that, we have this one here, which is still fresh and untested, just above that. So we have at the 95.50 area, and we have the 92.38. And we might see another reaction there, but I wouldn't take it simply because it's been tested once before. And I only like to take the first time back unless you have a really nice reaction on the chart. So we have this one looking left. We have this one here, which looks pretty good. The stop's a bit big, 171 pips, so you might want to drop down to, the daily chart and find that area where we can zoom in. So we can find that. I've gone past it. Here. You can see it right there. It just jumps out at you immediately. And it's just here. From here to here. Price comes there, I will be selling. Right there. That's a very nice area. And stops about maybe 10 pips above the high. 40 pips above the high, whatever. We could just put it there, just above the high, like that, something like that. So that's a pretty nice area, the 96.50. I really like that area very much. Look how price just dumped away. And it didn't even manage to come up there. On this candle here, we had a small poke, but I mean, boom, we gapped down, you see. So this is a very nice area. So this is going to be on my watch list here. Price probably won't get there for a while, but when it does, I think that it'll have a nice reaction there. So that's what you want to look at. We have a look at this here quickly. I'm going to go like this. Let's find the Aussie. You see how price is just racing north. You want to see where all of this buying originated from. Where did it start? You can see that people are looking to buy, but where did this buying originate from? Then you have to find these fresh areas of demand. So we have one just here. We have this one here. It's kind of two areas. We have the parent and the child there. We have a little bit here. And then we don't have anything else until around here, which I don't like. So there's not a lot. We have those. We have a little bit in here. Oh, it's already tested. I wouldn't touch that anymore. That's gone. And if you let's zoom out a little bit, and you can see, man, that's all we have. This looks pretty decent. This looks okay, but it's been tested. This one is untested. This one's untested. And we have this big swing low here. You see, price has already been down here. So we have this one here, which looks okay. Just here. Still untested, the 74.14. But I think we could probably see some initial reactions off here. If we go to the 30-minute chart, you can actually see that we're probably going to get some reactions starting here. But we do have a lot of trading there. I don't like that too terribly much. And you can see, as a matter of fact, we have a very nice one just here. I like this one very much. Right there, this tiny little one at the edge. So this puts us at the 7700 area. So if we add the spread, a couple of pips, we'll be looking at the 7700 on the money. And this is where it left from. And similar, we have this one here. Oh, there's a lot of trading there. I wouldn't take that. I would wait for price to come back to something like this. I would be happier if price would have gone from here to here in one bar, but it didn't. But this could be an okay trade. There's a very small risk on that. And if you look left, you can see that price is, I mean, there's not a whole lot, neither above or below price. We have these, you want to be buying, you look on the weekly chart, you can see that this is racing. We have this parent tested, price is moving high, but we are approaching the highs here. We are probably reacting to something up here. You can see we have this up here. So you want to analyze this on the 4-hour chart, and we're going to find a nice place to sell. Here we are. You want to find the area where it broke away. Where did price leave from? You can see that it's actually approaching this one, which has been tested. Not a good one because it's been tested once, twice. This is actually gone. I'll remove that. We do have this. There's a lot of kind of fiddling around in that area there, so you might want to go to the smaller time frame and have a another look, see if I can find it without confusing anybody. Nope, I don't have enough historical data, so we'll have to pass on that one. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Now you can see it. You can just see that we had, price left here. You can see how price broke away from here. So we had this area of demand, which is gone. What area did it? Or something up here. This is the one that cut through it. So you have something here, but I don't have any more data, which is a blow on the smaller time frame. But we have something like this. You could put your stop. We could mark off those bars like that, maybe go like that. I think that looks okay. This is where price cut away from, and this is the one that took that out, and this went above all of these highs and actually formed the top. So this looks like a pretty decent area. Price is approaching this one. Price has already been back to the lows. We mark off the lows just to see where we are. Let's have a look where price has been. Let me zoom out quickly. Now you can see price has been back to here. Actually, you can see it pretty clear on the daily chart. It's a pretty nice looking pattern on the daily chart. Then remove this one and this one, and we'll just mark this off. So we have this. I like this actually. As a matter of fact, it looks pretty delicious. I would have been happier if price would have moved from here to here in like 2 days, but it didn't. It kind of sold off, accumulated, sold off, accumulated. We have actually 1, 2 continuation patterns, but then price managed to move back up into this area. So I'd be a little bit careful. But we do have this one up here, which looks okay. And we have, of course, this one at the top here, which is a real beauty. Simply it looks like a big top. So we're probably going to get some reactions up there. And on the weekly chart, you can see that it looks, we're very, very deep into this area of supply. Sorry, into the wick in this area of, I think, supply here. Which brings us also, when you look a little bit further, we have this one here. Price has tested it, so not as good. And then you have maybe monthly up here, and we have this one here. This is really nice. So when price comes up here, then you want to be looking to get short. You can see price has already been back up here. This is completely fresh, untainted area of supply. 164 pips on the monthly chart. That is phenomenal. So price will very likely have a very difficult time moving through this. So you can certainly look to sell there. Anyway, I'm going to wrap that up for now. Try and keep these short. But I hope everyone is doing well. I hope the summer or the winter, if you're in the south, is treating you well. And I'll try to get one of these out again next week. And if you have any questions, please send them in. And until then, have a super weekend. Thanks for watching.